this is Queen J. I'm back and I have Mousequake. He's an audio engineer and a music producer. How you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
I'm fantastic. Just trying to stay cool here in Arizona.
Oh yeah, smoking hot. It's so hot there, it melts the tires on people's cars.
Exactly, exactly. So I was Oh, so obviously this is the interview, and I'm going to ask you some questions, okay?
All
So
right.
let's take it back all the way to the beginning. When you were growing up as a kid, what was the environment like around the house, and what was your earliest memory of, specific sounds, records, instruments?
Well, I was born in Newark, New Jersey. I lived in the projects, so all kind of stuff went on in the projects. My mom, she played music all the time. Anything from Martha and the Vandellas to gospel to country, she played it all. But I was blessed to have an uncle that played keyboard and piano for Sammy Davis Jr.
Oh, wow.
So I got all the loose instruments and stuff like that. But I catered toward the drums early. My grandmother bought me some drums at around about 3 or 4, and I was on the drums ever since then. When you live in an impoverished neighborhood, you try to find things to give you solace, and music always gave me solace.
So even at an early age, 3, 4 years old, you understood the fundamentals of music. Do you
Uh,
remember sitting there playing and actually like did you have rhythm then, or were you taught
yeah,
that later
yeah.
on?
I had the rhythm early. I mean, I could play early. I just didn't know what the hell I was doing. Um, but as when I got older, as I got older, I started playing in school bands, and I started in school band in 5th grade, and I played in school band from 5th grade until I got out of high school. So, I was in 6th grade, I was in the concert band. The 7th grade, I went to a junior high school, and unbeknownst to me, I was the first black kid in the school's history to be in the band.
Wow.
So, so imagine, my mom had moved from New Jersey to Columbus, Georgia. So imagine walking into a room and you don't see anybody who looks like you.
Right, right.
Yeah, coming from New Jersey down south was a big flip. But I played in concert band there for 2 years. Then I went to high school. I played in every band they had: concert, symphonic, marching, and jazz. So I knew early what I wanted to do. I knew I didn't want to be an athlete, although I did go to school for free playing ball. But I had no intentions to be an athlete. I always wanted to be a musician.
Yeah, so it was like in your blood at
It's
that
in me.
point.
It's there.
Wow, wow, wow. Um, where were you physically when you decided and you had that desire to be a record producer, and that locked into your mind? Um,
Hmm. That's a pretty good question. I can almost pinpoint it. I was 14 years old, and I played drums for a band with a bunch of 35 and 40-year-olds. And they would take me to the studio with them, although I didn't know what the hell they were doing. They would take me to the studio, and I'd play, and then I'd come out, and I would watch the guy, you know, get the records together. And I just got intrigued. And once I got intrigued, that's all I wanted to do. I think it was maybe around about 15 when I realized that's the area I need to be in. So about 15.
about 15 years old.
Yeah.
And am I understanding correctly, were you at some point, did you pivot and go to the military?
I actually went to college for 4 years. I graduated on a Tuesday. I went back home that night, and about 4 days later, I just decided I need to get out of the hood. So I went to the military. I went and walked in the military recruiter's office and said, the first one of y'all can get me out of here, I'm gone. Just so happened by God's grace, it was the Air Force and not the Marines. But I went in the Air Force, and I stayed for 20 years.
Wow.
After that, I stayed there. And I kind of honed my skills there because I had access to money, because I had a job. I didn't have to pay any bills. So I could go out and get paid on Friday or whenever every 2 weeks, and I can go buy some equipment. So I just practiced, took lessons for things I wasn't good at. And it just happened. I mean, the military was the blessing of all blessings. Say it like that. Most people don't look at it that way, but for me, it was the blessing of all blessings.
And so you actually went over and deployed, and how long were you overseas? I know I saw
Uh,
a post about it.
oh yeah, I went. I was in a combat control unit, so we did combat mobility. So I probably spent out of my 20 years, I probably spent 15 of them overseas somewhere. From I first started in the Philippines, and I went from the Philippines. I came back to the States, and then I went to London. I went to Paris. I went to Africa. I went to Australia, Panama. I was all over the place. Haiti, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait. I did all of them. And the most famous one was I got sent to Aden, Yemen one winter. I think it was winter. And we were the first known attack by Osama bin Laden on Americans. He tried to hit us twice. He blew up the first hotel we were in, but we had already moved. Then we moved downtown to a more richier hotel. And our bus driver, was acting real strange one day. He was like, "Hey man, can you drop us off at the British store so we could buy snacks or whatever?" And he was like, "No." That was weird. And so we had a weird guy in the back, a new guard in the back. And we kind of looked at him, okay, what is this dude doing here? Well, unbeknownst to us, he had a bomb on.
The guy driving?
The guy that was in the back of the bus that was supposedly guarding us.
Okay.
The blessing was this guy could not understand English or read English. So instead of typing 1 minute in the bomb, he typed 10. By the time we got back to the hotel, it had went off. So we got off the bus, walked in, and we weren't in the building 35 seconds, and it blew up in the parking lot. Herring situation. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So how did you, psychologically, like you sitting here now and at that point, how has it impacted you?
Well, I do have a lot of PTSD, but that's part of the job. You're gonna go or you're not gonna go. That's just part of the job. So you just learn to deal with it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm fully over it, because I'm not. Sometimes, I have a little flashbacks. You do 20 years of that kind of crap. You're gonna have some residuals in there, but outside of that, I just deal with it, if that makes any sense.
Right. Well, thank you for your service. I want to say that first and foremost. It's greatly appreciated. It's not, I just want to say that up front. And,
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. How has that, that experience, because that's a lot of experience, 20 years. How have you integrated that into music production? And does that help you with your PTSD?
Yes, it actually soothes me. I say music calms the savage beast. Well, it does. And the military experience has helped me with the discipline and the start and the finish. Not to do it and then quit. You start the mission, you finish the mission. So that's one of the biggest things. I've always had great discipline, but the military kind of enhanced the discipline, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Okay. So going into that whole career and your childhood, how did you officially get your start in the music industry? Like, what was your first hustle into the studio environment professionally?
Well, professionally, I've been in the studio professionally since I was about 17.
Okay.
But when I went in the military, I did my time. I got out, and I decided to go back to school to, chop up on some degrees, all the knowledge I had. And I had two great professors. Well, I had three. I had two great professors that stayed on me. One was Tim Kimsey. He was a producer for Pantera, Kirk Franklin, Erica Badu, UGK with Pimp C and the Bun B. And the other was Joe Macri. He was the bass player in Wild Cherry, Play That Funky Music, White Boy. And then I had another professor, was James Domain. He played with everybody from Aretha Franklin to Percy Sledge. So being a little older than everybody else, I kind of took to the older guys. And so I got to, go to sessions with them a lot. Like, Tim took me to sessions with Erica and, all these people. And Joe took me to sessions with Eric Clapton. Mm-hmm. But my first actual pro job was John Bon Jovi. Oh, wow. Yeah, I got asked to go to New Jersey because they knew I was from New Jersey. Didn't tell me what I was going for. I went. They told me, hey, set this up, blah, 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 blah. I get the studio set up. As I set it up and I finish, I hear the door open, and in walks John Bon Jovi.
How did you feel in that moment? How do you, because
I didn't feel anything, to be honest with you, because, my dad, as a kid, worked for Muhammad Ali when I was a kid. So I saw Muhammad Ali every summer, 3 or 4 months out of the year. And, everybody came to the camp to see Ali. So you just kind of like, you get almost immune to seeing superstars. So he came in, I have a mentor, Gerald Hall. He worked for LaFace, Babyface in LA and Babyface. And he always taught me that you starstruck for 30 seconds and after that you go back to work. So I never have a problem with being around celebrities. I just treat them like they treat everybody else.
Right. And since you had that as a core, since you were younger, being around Muhammad Ali and everything, because a lot of this is for, new and upcoming producers and artists and engineers. Mm-hmm. A lot of them do get starstruck when they come into a studio, and that could possibly ruin their chances of being trusted, in a studio because, when you're starstruck, sometimes you don't act very professional. Maybe you try to give them music or, pitch yourself when honestly you're there to work. What is to help the newcomers? Can you give a psychological or a behavioral, any type of knowledge?
Yeah, you have to realize that if you're in the room, you're either been paid to be in the room or do a job, or somebody thought enough of you to have you in the room. And the way I introduce myself, ask them what they need, what I got to do, and then I just tune the world out and do my job. Celebrities don't really like to be treated like celebrities.
Right.
If they want to be treated like a celebrity, that's a problem. If they want to be a celebrity all the time. But, the best way to handle that is to just go in there and do your damn job. If they ask you, do you have this? Yes or no. If you're there to do a specific job, do the job. Don't go in thinking, I'm in there saying, I'm going to throw a name out, but I never met the person. Say you were in a room with Michael Jackson. Michael didn't pay you to come in there to pitch him music. He paid you to come in there to do what he asked you to do, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. So, being around in that profession and being around, the celebrities and everything, did you feel like you had to learn the specific gear of that studio? Did you have to learn all the studio etiquettes and how did you feel being in that studio atmosphere? And doing the job itself.
Yeah, if you're going in the studio, if somebody hired you to come to the studio, it's probably smart enough to learn what you need to do before you get there.
Right.
You can't walk in and on the fly in a studio session, you're going to get fired. The best thing to do is, if you're not familiar with the facility that you're going in, go a couple hours early. Listen to the room, learn what the equipment is, learn how they have it set up. Because contrary to popular belief, every studio is not the same. They may have some of the same similar equipment, but depending upon the person who owns it or runs it, it's always going to be set up catered to their taste. So it's best to go in and learn what you're doing before they get there, because when they come, it's go time. All the plan is out the window. I've seen a lot of engineers, a lot of interns get thrown out of studio sessions because they have no clue what they're doing.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's a prevalent problem. Believe that when I tell you, it happens a lot.
Oh. And I went to CRAS, which is the audio engineering school, and they try to prepare you as best as they can to put you in rooms, but to kind of be in the background and to be silent as a mentee, because you're not going to walk in there and you're not going to know everything when you walk into these rooms.
Actually, nobody knows everything when you walk in the room. Nobody. Don't ever get fooled that everybody knows everything. They don't. I call people all the time. Hey, man, why is this doing this? Tell me why. Can you do this? And I'm 60 years old. I've been doing it since I was 15. So, when you're going in to be a mentee, your job is to learn something.
Back, you're saying that you're not going to know everything when you walk into the studio. Not everybody knows everything. And that's probably a poor concept to have, going in there being cocky or thinking you know it all, not asking questions. Do you feel like a lot of the younger engineers, do you feel like they possess that, or do you feel like it's getting better and they know not to do that coming into the studio?
Well, to be honest with you, a lot of them come in the studio and all they know is a computer. They don't know how to patch things in. They don't know how to route this, that. They just know how to use a computer. And, being able to navigate a connection not working, or, set up the microphone, or, let me mic the drums, or let me mic a guitar. It's almost a lost art because everybody does everything at home on a laptop. And, if you got an interface, you only got to just plug in the interface and click, click, click. But a lot of young guys are really, really talented. I can tell you that much. I had a 14-year-old kid teach me how to use filters. Smartest little kid ever. Then I teach at high schools and teach kids how to do things, and these kids are amazing. But the bridge is that sometimes we don't talk like they talk, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. We may say something that sounds like a 90-year-old man to them, or sound like Charlie Brown teacher. But yeah, a lot of these kids, they're amazing.
Wow. And that's because they grew up with the digital. They didn't grow up with the analog.
No, they didn't grow up with any. You say anything about a tape machine, they look at you like, oh, the saturation plug in? Like, no, dude, the tape. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But I have a good time when I'm with kids. So
yeah. And that's why I have the platform that I do. It's to, I love talking to, I call you guys veterans, because you've been in there 15, 20 years. It's teaching them about what it was like to come up, years ago. And going into that, what was your first piece of gear or drum, like your drum machine that you bought with your money that you felt like, okay, this is official?
Yeah, I actually, when I was stationed in the Philippines, I used to go to Korea and Japan once or twice a month. And my very first piece of equipment was I bought a drum set. So I could keep playing. And it cost me like $300 from a pawn shop. But when I got in the military, I started buying equipment. So my first probably legit drum machine purchase was an Alesis, I think it's called an HR-16. I bought an Alesis drum machine and I bought an Alesis MMT8 sequencer. And that was my first legit purchase. And that cost me like $700. I thought I was going to die. I was going to die. And then
Yeah.
after that, after that, and I started making a little money. I went and bought an EMU SP1200 drum machine and a Roland W30 sampling keyboard and a Tascam 8-track reel to reel. And I was all running. A little background history on that. All that equipment I bought from a guy named Greg Jacobs in Oakland, California, at a music store by the name of Arts Music. Greg Jacobs happened to be Shock G from Digital Underground.
Wow. That's incredible.
The Humpty Hump, he was Humpty Hump. So you probably heard the Humpty dance or whatever.
Yeah.
That guy singing that song sold me my equipment at the music store.
That's just like, it's like fated. You
Yeah.
were meant to run into him, and get
Yeah.
that equipment.
I had no idea who he was.
And he was just at a music store and he was just selling this gear.
No,
And
he
that's-
actually worked at the music store.
Oh, okay.
He worked at the music store. Contrary to popular belief, he sold a lot of Bay Area musicians their stuff. So, rest in peace, Shock G.
Wow, that's incredible. Going into some of your like backgrounds and like the high stake rooms and stuff. Mr. Lee, I did some research.
Uh-huh.
And Mr. Lee gave you your first major. Did he give you your first major break into the industry?
Well, I actually knew Lee 4 or 5 years before we even worked together, but he actually put me a little bit mainstream where people would know who I was. I've been getting referral work forever. Nobody never knew who I was, which was how I almost liked it, where I could just get called in and do the work. But he actually was working on Pimp C's album, and he brought me in to work on the Pimp C album. And at the time, I was making a pretty good piece of change, but everybody didn't know that it was me most of the time. And then after that, it was over. One day we were at the studio one night, and Lil Wayne's photographer took a picture and posted the picture saying, "Here's a snippet of Lil Wayne, Pimp C featuring Lil Wayne, Three-Way Freak." And Wayne was standing over me, and he was talking to me, and we had no idea the picture was taken. And this was like 2:00 in the morning. I'm driving home about 5, and my phone starts blowing up. Everybody had saw me in the picture. So anonymity gone after that. But I blame Mr. Lee for that.
Darn you, Mr. Lee.
Yeah.
So like, as you were driving home and you had those people blowing up your phone and everything, did you feel like a piece of you was like, not missing, but like, some people like being anonymous. They feel better being behind the console. They don't want their name out there. They don't want to be famous, but they want to do the job. How did you feel in that situation? Like,
Actually, I didn't feel any type of way. I just knew that maybe I'd get more traffic, or more requests for work. And trust me, I did after that. I got a whole lot more requests, and but it kind of blew my cover a little bit, but that's okay. That's okay. I had to learn to deal with being a public figure. But see, I have friends who are public figures that can't go to Walmart. I still can. So I really like how I am right now. Fame is fleeting, but respect is everlasting.
right. And so is that how you stay humble? Is knowing that you can go to Walmart, but you have connections in the music industry, and you get to enjoy both those worlds. And then, how do you walk into these rooms? Because I ask a lot of producers and artists and everything, I asked him this question: how do you stay humble walking into a room with, a lot at stake? These aren't cheap rooms to walk into.
No, I look at it like this. I'm only as good as my last performance. So I'm trying to improve every time I go in one. I don't care who it is. It could be a nobody or it could be a super somebody. I have to be better than I was the last time. And just thinking, because all it takes in the music business is one person to say something foul about you and it's over. So, and anybody who's been in the business knows there's a list of people that people don't want to be around, So I try to keep myself in a standpoint that I'm just an average dude, because which I am, just an average dude doing my job to the best of my ability. And that's how it is. I mean, never get too high, never get too low. I try to stay even keel the whole time.
Right. And when you stay even keel, does that mean composing like your conversations, watching how you act, watching your, attitude, like, can you take me inside of like when you're in the studio? Like, how do you, this is kind of invasive, but like, how do you communicate with people? Obviously, you can't get snippy. You can't.
Well, yeah, you can.
Okay. Didn't know that.
The best thing, what I do is I always, I tell them, hey, I will not give you any advice or say anything unless you're asking for my opinion. When you ask for my opinion, then you open the door for me to give it to you, whether you like it or not. Now, some people, you gotta know how to be temperamental with some people. You can't tell some people right off the rip what you think, because then you're an ass. Mm-hmm. But if you don't say anything, you're still an ass. So you gotta figure out a way to say what it is you need to do and say it tactfully. And if you've been around the public enough, you know what you can say and what you can't say. And if you're a smart person, you read the dang room. You read the room. You learn who's in the room, and you deal with what's in the room, if that makes sense. It's not, music's all emotional anyway. So if they're emotional, then you can't be emotional. Because remember, you got to do the job. You're there to get paid. It's just a weird dichotomy, because everybody is different. There's no set rule or anything. You just know some things you can do and some things you can't do. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. And as newcomers, and I will even throw this out there, there's not a lot of women in production. Obviously, we're talking about this. It's less than 5%.
Yeah.
So I feel like, as I'm going into music production, I don't know if I'm going to be a cool music producer. I don't know. It depends on my work and my skills, right? So As a female, I feel like you have to conduct yourself a lot different, especially around these heavyweights. Other music producers that's been doing it a long time, and the younger crowd that's coming in. What would be your advice when they ask you for your opinion? Because I know if I'm going into a studio as a mentee,
mm-hmm.
Somebody asks me my opinion, I'm going to hold back a little bit, because it's like, do I even have enough experience to give my opinion? And I'm a female. I might be looked at a little bit different than a male in these male-dominated. Do you believe that?
Well, I hate to tell you, but I like primarily working around a lot of women.
I like that.
Because women just gonna say what the hell they want to say, and they're not in a position to always try to, I need to be cool with this person, I need to be cool with that person. But I can tell you this, as a woman, always take another male with you that you trust to the studio, every time. I know that sounds crass, but you should. And two, just remember, if you're in the room, you're in the room for a reason. They ask for your opinion, preface it. Do you want me to tell you what I need to tell you? Or do you want me to give you my perfect opinion? And when they say give you my opinion, give me your opinion, they open the door for you.
So it's not unsolicited at that point because they're asking
Yeah,
for it.
yeah. Never give an unsolicited opinion. Never. I don't care who it is. If they don't ask you for your opinion, don't give it.
Yeah,
It'll
absolutely.
save you. It'll save you a lot of pain. A lot of.
Yeah, this is like behavioral, like really you have to not not act like yourself, but
Mhm.
you do have to go into these spaces and communicate with people from a high standpoint, you know, because
Yeah,
it is such a small business and word of mouth gets around so quick.
yeah. You
Um,
have to. You have to. You got to be very tactful in your conversations, but you got to be good enough to let your work speak for itself. And once you get to that point in your mind, it's all gravy after that.
okay. So every producer, if I say this, every producer does have a story. Um,
Hmm.
you know, a lot of the stories stay in the studio because it's, you know, discreet. We don't want that, you know, we don't want sensitive information out. But what what were some of the funny things? What was the most hilarious or the
Uh,
most chaotic moment in the studio that you can remember? Like being with Nas, Erica Badu, you
I
know.
can give, I can give you one, but in the words of Tank, I ain't saying no names.
That's right. We don't want no
um,
names.
I was in a session once, and we were recording a specific song for a specific artist, and everybody knows that I like to have it dark so I can actually feel the room and not just see the room. So as I'm working, I hear the door open and I hear a lot of feet come in, a lot of wood bottom shoes come in. So I'm not thinking anything. I'm just okay. They bring their girlfriends in or whatever. I'm cool with that. I keep working. And then when I turn on the lights, there are 40 butt naked strippers in the room. Yeah,
All
I see
behind you?
all over the room. Now, first thing I'm thinking is, oh hell, if my wife FaceTimes me right now, my ass is grass. So I say, hey man, you gotta get all these women out of here, bro. I'm married. I can't have all that around. All right, OG, we got you. That was hilarious. So just imagine you're face forward, you're working, and you just hear people coming in. We're in the studio, everybody's just coming in and out.
Uh-huh.
But you turn the light on, and there's 40 butt naked women
And they were just sitting there chilling, just
dancing.
hanging out. Wow, wow.
Oh, yo, man, you gotta get them out of here. That was
Yeah,
hilarious.
that is
Well,
wild.
immediately I called my wife and told her what was happening,
Uh-huh.
just in case somebody was taking pictures and filming, because this is the social media age.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And and going into that, that's a good segue. Having a family, because I'm sure you have children and everything.
Oh yeah.
How did you integrate all that successfully by being in that business and having a family out there?
Well, I have 4 kids. Um, my oldest son's a band director for high schools and college. My oldest daughter is a charge nurse at Parkland Hospital in Dallas. My youngest, yeah,
I'm a nurse too.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah, and my youngest son, he's a music producer also, and my youngest daughter she does code compliance in a sports city in Texas,
Okay.
and my kids understood what I did, but they didn't understand what I did. All they know was the bills were paid, I could eat. If I needed the car, I could take the car. If I had stuff I needed to buy, I could buy. And just so happened my wife is like the general of the house. So everything ran through, passed by her and for her. So I really didn't have too many problems. But when your kids get so used to you doing this and doing that, they see celebrities in the living room, they walk right by, how you doing?
Right.
They go on business. So kids don't care. But I did all that work so my family doesn't have to work and they get a chance to do what they want to do. My wife's a retired school teacher. So just having her come home and say, I'm sick of the work. I said, well, just quit. Come home. Retire.
Oh,
And she retired. My wife's been retired 15 years. She ain't had to work no more since. So, and all my kids are, they're solid citizens. They're married. They don't have kids, so they're doing their job. So the family life, it should help you balance what you're doing. And it helped me balance exceptionally.
I've heard that before. I've heard a lot of artists saying that without their marriage, they wouldn't have that balance, they wouldn't have that foundation, and they'd be all over the place. And God knows where they would be if they didn't have a solid partner at home.
Yeah, we'd be crazy because, the world is really crazy. And, especially in the music business, is really crazy. It's shady. People do things, bad things to people. I mean, you see it. And, you just need some kind of peace. And, being married for me is like all the peace. My wife lets me have a studio in the house. So if I don't have to go out, I can work in the house, as you can see.
Yeah.
I can work in the house. So, that's the blessing of having a family. I recommend it, to have somebody that's solid with you. But now, just so you know, ladies and gentlemen, you're never going to tame a musician. It's never going to turn off. You want it to turn off, it's never going to turn off. It's always going to be there. You just have to learn how to deal with it.
So with that being said, because that's another thing I like to talk about too, is having good relationships, whether that's with friends or with your spouses. Sometimes you can get with the wrong person that does not allow you to express your musical, getting a marriage. They supported you in the beginning, but then now you're married, and then things change. How do you navigate that? How do you get rid of that person? Do you have, like what do you do?
No, you just got to pick the right one. I was married previously, and it wasn't a good fit. Now, sometimes you have to make a command decision that, hey, it's not going to work for you. And when it didn't work, it made everything go topsy-turvy, haywire, and crazy. So I divorced, and then I met my present wife, been married 15, 16 years, man, a little bit longer than that maybe. And she understood the process, and it calmed me down. And that's when I started elevating. When I didn't have to too much worry about when I went home, where you been, what you doing, I need you to do this, such and third. I didn't get that anymore. So I was calmer, and I didn't have as much stress trying to achieve. And once that came about, it was solid as a rock. Everything started happening. Like I went from maybe one session a month to at one time I had a session every day for 6 months in a row. So you got to pick the right one. You can't pick one that's in love with you for your potential. Because potential goes pretty quickly.
Right. And you see a lot of that on social media now of people crying. They're basically crying out, saying, we want peace at home. We don't want to, you have to, in this business, I can get a call at 3:00 in the morning, I have to run out. You have to trust me. You have to trust me that I'm not out cheating, that I'm actually out working, and that I don't need to be coming home and being asked where I've been and all these types of questions. Creating chaos in the house. But you see that all over social media right now, people talking about wanting peace in the relationship, but they can't obtain it due to there's a lot going on in this world. Things have changed from my grandmother's time when she was married to my grandfather for 44 years. You don't see it as much nowadays.
Well, my wife goes to all my sessions, so she goes to all of them. If I'm going somewhere, I ask if she wants to go. She says yes, we go.
Oh, okay.
And it's rare that she doesn't go. And the funny thing is, if I go to a session, people are so accustomed to seeing her. The first thing they ask, "Hey man, where your wife at?" Because if you
Yeah.
see her, you know I'm there. If you see me, she there. Because I want her to experience all the stuff I experienced too. And then we can talk about it in the ride home or in the plane ride back or when we get home. But she hangs out with me more than anybody. I mean, that's my best friend anyway. So
Yeah.
we hang out all the time. I mean, sometimes we don't even leave the house for 2 or 3 weeks. So just don't even go out the front door.
Wow.
So that's my road dog all the time.
That's a king and queen status right there. The king is not without his queen. The queen's not without her king right there.
Never, never. Even if I have to go somewhere, the first thing I ask, "Hey man, is it cool to bring my wife?" They may not want to pay for it to come. I just pay. I just pay because I need somebody around me that I can trust all the damn time.
Right. Yeah, I love hearing this. I love this. This is what they need to hear. Need to find that partner that you can trust. And
Get the one. In the words of Kendrick, I'm the one and not the two. Get the one. Yeah.
Right. Okay, switching up a little bit. In the studio, you're often trapped in windowless. Like there's not a lot. You like it dark though. That's how you like it.
Yeah, I like it dark.
And you could be in there for 18, 20 hours. What are your personal boundaries that you've learned to put into places to ensure that you don't absorb like weird energies, things of that nature?
Well,
being exhausted.
Yeah, well, the first thing I do is I'll probably get there an hour and a half early, and I'll just, fill the room. I just fill the room. And then I pray before I start doing anything.
Okay.
I always ask God to show me what or who it is that their energy is off, that their disposition is bad. And I'll just wait. I just wait until God shows me, and God goes, that one, I ask him to leave.
Oh, you do? You will ask somebody to leave for sure.
I ask them to leave. And, I'll make sure that I go early enough to know what I'm dealing with. And I make sure I don't go to places where a lot of weed smoking, a lot of drinking, because that brings in that pharmakeia stuff that you can't really get rid of. And since I don't drink or smoke, I can't function with that around me. If that makes sense. I can't really think. I need to be in control of what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And you always sometimes you just gotta tell people, hey man, if they're not essential, don't bring them. If you need to smoke, do that before you get here. If you need to drink, do that before you get here. Because I'm here to work. I'm here to do my job to the best of my ability, because every session ends up being a calling card for the next one, if that makes sense.
Right.
Especially in this business, there's millions of engineers, there's millions of producers, but your perception is really your 100% reality, if that makes a lot of sense. Because the only way you're gonna win is you do a real good job. And a lot of times people don't even want to really do a really good job. They just want to say they're in the studio taking pictures. It's another thing. I don't really like taking pictures. So if you see me in a studio session, somebody else took the picture. I never take pictures. Because I ain't there to take pictures.
I think I noticed because I've been on the Gauntlet and I've watched you interact in the chats and everything. One thing that I noticed, I know you use Dolby Atmos. Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, you are.
Okay. And I know you're really, really big on sonics. Like you're very pristine. You can hear when something's out of place. I know you gave me some pointers on what to do with my Metadyne. Is it, how do I say it? Melodyne. Yeah. So that's all engineering, and that comes down with sound and everything. How do you perfect your sound, and how do you push Dolby Atmos, and how do you use it?
I actually study a lot. I study more than I work. I think. The best way to get your knowledge is to study those who did it before you and take bits of pieces of it and make it work. Like I came up in the cassette tape era. Then we went from cassette tape to CDs, from records to cassette tapes to CDs, and so I have a good memory bank of why everything sounds the way it does, and I just study everything I can, and then I'm open for people to teach me how to do certain things that I know I can't do, and the sound thing is so important because if your song is orally pleasing, it's gonna win every time. I don't care who it is. It could be a terrible song, but if it sounds good, it's gonna win. I mean, Bob Dylan couldn't sing a lick. Sing a lick. But
That is true.
Bob Dylan songs, he couldn't sing a lick. And
Right.
he would tell you he don't sing very well. But that sound, it's almost like you saying earlier, you had to have rain sounds to sleep. Just imagine if that sounded like rain hitting static all the time. It wouldn't bless you at all. The best thing that, as a musician or audio engineer is God's ears. You can't beat those. You can't beat them. So, just study what it is you want your stuff to sound like. People always say, oh man, you're doing this. Look, there's 12 notes in the scale. People have been making music from those 12 notes since creation. You're not doing anything new. You might be advancing something. And that's how you keep your sonics right. Now, with Dolby Atmos is a whole different ball game. Dolby Atmos is 128 channels of audio that you could throw all around the room. Just think the movie The Matrix, or better yet, John Wick. How the bullets and stuff are flying all over the place, and that's what Dolby Atmos does.
What is it that you like it? What do you like about it so much?
I just like the ability to take sounds and put them in places that people would naturally hear them, like shooting water past somebody, or throwing a bullet here, bullet there, or having rain come down from the sky. Like if you're in a concert, I mixed a record that was a concert record I did in Dolby Atmos. I put the crowd around the whole room, left, right, back, rear, top, and I had the band playing from the front. So it feels like you're immersed in the song. It's almost like you can close your eyes and just think you're in a stadium. That's what Dolby Atmos does. So the next time you go to the movies, pay the $3 extra and go see a Dolby movie. Go see one that's in Atmos. And I guarantee you, like if you sit in the room, you hear something go, phew, you turn. That's what Dolby Atmos. What Dolby Atmos does to you.
Have you? Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm good.
Have you and your family ever been to Las Vegas to the Sphere and experienced that? Okay.
I have not been to the Sphere.
Okay.
I'm gonna go. I've just been too busy.
But
I've been in the rooms with the people from Dolby tuning rooms and tuning theaters, and man, I can just imagine what the Sphere is gonna sound like. Because I'm certified in the Dolby thing, but I can tell you, man, I can just imagine how the Sphere is gonna be.
Yeah, they say it's like incredible to see the art. Like if you go to a concert, they got some type of experience that they do every day that you can go and actually like listen to the different sounds and the visuals and everything. But to actually see a concert, I haven't been to one, but they say it's incredible. It's out of this world.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see one.
For your Pass the Aux masterclasses, because I know you like to teach. I know you love teaching new people and the students. If you could like give the young artists one practical everyday mixing tip, on how to make their drums or their low end bounce hit harder in like car speakers or like on a little, um, those little tiny speakers and stuff,
Mhm.
what would it be like? What advice would you give?
That's a very good question. Um, my thing is before I start mixing records or whatever, and the client sends me the record, I always tell them, hey, send me the files and then send me your reference mix. I'll listen to the reference mix all day, take notes, find out what the strengths and the weaknesses are in the song. Because the actual mix is live, it lies within their reference mix. That's what they hear. So as an engineer, your job is to enhance what they hear, not make what they hear. If that makes sense. You have to make the song become what they hear it is. So I almost take it as, how can I say that? I almost take it as taking their reality and making it your reality. Because the song will tell you what it needs to have done to it. But a lot of engineers think they can go in and do a preset here, do this and that. That's not how it works. I don't have a preset set up. I have a template, but my template is built for the effects that I may or may not use. Nothing is set where it's going to do the same thing every time. That's the thing. If you want to make it hit hard, go study the record that you want to hit hard with, like you want to hit hard with. Because this stuff is really based on how you hear it and how you feel it. Mixing is really it's a delicate, it can either make the song great or it can make it suck. So I don't know if I roundabout answered the question or not, but if I'm trying to learn something or I want to make a song do such and such and such, I find me a study point. How did that get that way? Or how did they get that way? And two, one of the big things I see people using EQ before they even start creating the damn song.
What do you mean? Like, what do you mean by that? Like, because I don't know if I do it. I don't know if I do compression, EQ. I don't know how I do it. It's random. But like, what are you supposed to do?
Well, you're supposed to listen to the damn song first. Listen to the song. Right. And, a lot of people go in, I got a preset for this. Well, that worked on the last song. Listen to the song first. Take a lot of good notes and see, okay, this kick could hit harder. Maybe I could put compression on this kick. Maybe I can enhance the low end on this. Maybe I can enhance the highs on this. If you look at a song in 3 phases, low, mid, and high, you cannot lose. Because you got to think, there are 31 bands of EQ, but your ear can't detect all 31. It can detect if that low end is hitting, if I can hear that singer in the middle of me, and I can hear all the crispy stuff on the top. That's all. That's my method. I may spend 4 or 5 hours just listening to the reference song, and I just go drums. Okay, let me get the drums right. Let me listen to that. Okay, what is the singer or rapper doing? And get that done. What is the bass guitar doing? Okay, now what's the guitar doing? Now what are the other instruments doing? Then I throw it in the gumbo pot and I start from 1 to 5.
Oh, okay.
And it may take me 2 or 3 days. It may take me 2 or 3 days just to get it to where it's pleasing for me to let you listen to it. Like one of my clients said, man, this is a rough draft 32. I ain't even hear 1 through 31. I know, because I didn't like it. Because I mix songs like a consumer. I don't mix them as a pro. Well, I am a pro, but I mix them as a consumer. What will make you listen to this song more than once? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
If you're singing and your singing is terrible, I need to fix the singing. If the music's not feeling good, I need to fix the music. So I listen to it like I want to get in my car and I want to hear it in my car. That's the key to it. It has to be orally pleasing, if that makes any kind of sense.
Yeah. Do you believe in so for instance, when they're recording the artist, you can have a
Hmm.
bad recording, obviously. How do you go
You
about
you
how
got a
do you,
sorry engineer, you got a poor recording.
Mhm.
Yeah, you have a sorry. You cannot fix anything in the mix. Everything can be fixed in the mix. The mixer's job is to enhance the mix, enhance the song. You got the recording engineer who's supposed to get a clean signal. Stay away from all these little tricks. Just get the signal clean first. Get the signal clean. You don't have to do the auto tune. You don't have to do the EQ. You don't have to do the get the signal clean first. Then you start adding the salt and pepper and the ketchup and mustard. Then the recording engineer's job is done. When the mix engineer gets it, he's supposed to be able to mix what was given or handed to him or her. That's the key. Once the mix is solidified, then the master engineer's job is to enhance what the mix is doing with small and minute fixes. So if you get a recording and the recording is bad, 9 times out of 10, you got to have a wizard to fix it. But most of the time, you can't. All you band lab guys and all the phone guys, you ain't fixing that.
That makes
If that
sense.
makes any sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And sometimes you have to communicate. Would you have to communicate to the recording engineer, like, hey, you might have to re-record this because it's at this point it's too there's too much like maybe static or a lot
Yeah,
of ground noise.
yeah, I always, if they're sending me stuff, I always ask for the engineer's information so I can call and ask, hey, what did you do here? What did you do there? Or I just have them send me the recording session so I can take out what I need to take out. Sometimes, a lot of young engineers, they have 9 and 10 plugins on the vocal track. Why? It's like, why? You know,
Yeah.
or they'll sit them in stereo. Why? My thing is like, I'm talking to you, you're talking to me. One voice, one voice. Why do I need two voices to do the one thing? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
One mic, mono. Two mics, stereo. It doesn't need to be loud. If the artist wants to hear it loud when they're recording it, turn their headphone feed up. It's like, because a bad recording will kill a great song all day long. I don't care how good you are as an engineer. If that recording is terrible, you'll be spending months and months and months trying to fix something that you could just record it right once.
That's insane. Yeah, I heard Jeff Porcaro, from Toto. He's
Oh
like,
yeah, bad drummer boy.
yeah.
Cold.
He's like, I'm gonna play how I want to play. It's your job to record me the right way. That's what your job is as a recording engineer. He's like, I'm gonna play how I want to play. You don't tell me how to play.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
I was taught when you're working with musicians or singers or whatever,
Mhm.
your job is not to tell them what to do. They already know what to do. Your job is to capture what they're doing and all the essence that's included in it. Because if say you got an artist in and you're constantly telling them what to do, you're not getting the creator. You're turning them into an employee. They're doing what you tell them to do. I don't even do that. I record how you want to record it. Then we'll go back and I'll find the sweet spots that need to be fixed and we'll put them in. I don't make artists singers. I love singers. I don't have singers work more than 45 minutes in a stretch of anything.
Okay.
45 minutes, let's stop. 15 minutes. Nowadays, the music is done using MIDI or drum machines or whatever. I mean, you can move that around all day long.
Right.
But a singer or a player, I want the creator. I don't want to turn them into an employee. I want the creative stuff, because some of the best stuff ever created was by mistake.
And through emotion, correct? that emotional part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, music is all emotion anyway. It's the only language that you can speak that nobody knows exactly what it means until they hear it. You don't have to have words on a song and it'll do its job. I mean, you see people overseas singing English songs, don't know what the hell they're saying, but
Right.
it feels good.
Right.
It feels good.
Yeah. That's like
Yeah.
when Selena,
Oh
Quintanilla,
yeah.
if I'm saying, I hope I say her last name right. I don't know Spanish, but when I listen to it,
Me
it
either.
gives me chills. Gives me chills like you wouldn't believe because of her voice and you
Yeah,
get to
that
feel
girl.
the passion.
You feel everything in it.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions about the digital part of
Mhm.
the music industry. From a behavioral science perspective, how damaging do you think the constant addiction to digital matrix, likes, online validation, um, how damaging do you think it is to the young, upcoming creators in the music industry right now?
Well, I mean, it could be good or it could be bad, because you can buy likes, you can buy engagement. But I always tell people a great song is your best advertisement. Word of mouth will always beat word of social media. People don't even notice that with social media, it blows up because somebody else told somebody else, not just because it was online.
Hmm.
I mean, you got to think about it. If I saw a video and it made me laugh, I'm gonna say, "Hey Jay, I saw this video. It made me laugh." If I didn't tell you see that video, you never know it exists.
Hmm. Okay.
Algorithm is built to promote what it thinks that you would like. But what if I don't like that?
See what you're saying. I see what you're saying. So I was going to go
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
algorithm part of it because a lot of social media will push certain things and take out certain things out of the algorithm.
Oh yeah. It'll promote what it thinks that they can make money with. But if your song, point in case, you'll always see people promoting songs for maybe 2 or 3 days, then it's gone. But if the song was great, you can hear it 40 years from now and listen to it. And it still take you back to where you first heard it from. Like, check this. Name the number one rap song from 2025. You can't.
2025.
You can't.
Anything
Because
Kendrick Lamar.
yeah,
Yeah.
but now you say they not like us, but just think that song was good. It was a good song. It related to everybody. Although we know he was talking about Drake, but it relates to everybody. Now you got a whole bunch of songs that are promoted on social media. You hear them about 2 or 3 weeks, maybe tops,
Hmm.
and they're gone. So, a good song is going to travel no matter what you do to it. If you promote it or not, it's going to go. If somebody liked it, then there might be 10 more people that like it. There might be 20 more people that like it. There's what, 8 billion people on the planet?
Hmm.
A million people that like your song, you win.
Right. Right. So
Mm-hmm.
in a way, the digital world is not damaging what artists are trying to put out today.
No, it's actually just giving them more access to put it out. But just because you have access to it, that doesn't mean that you're good. It's like
Yeah. Right.
you and I both know there's some trash stuff running around out here.
Oh yeah, yeah. A lot of things to carry, like, whether it's good or bad. There's a lot of trends out here.
Mm-hmm.
People trying to get reactions. I got into the point where I wanted to do reaction videos to like some of the stupidity that was out here because it's funny and it
Mm-hmm.
makes you laugh. But at the same time, it's like, that's not gonna last for very long, and then now you're off to the next trend. and then the next trend
Yep.
of stupidity.
Yep. That
So,
is so true.
so wrapping up, um, what do you, and I always ask this question, 20 years from now, 10 years, 15 years from now, what do you want your legacy to be remembered as?
That's a good question. Um, that I did what I said. I always worked hard, and I never treated anybody bad or unfairly.
That's all
That's it.
behavior. That's all behavior. That has nothing to do with status, money,
Mhm.
glam, fame. That's all behavior.
Yeah,
And how
that's
you,
you know, I I settle for being respected than being famous.
and I hear that from a lot of men, the respect. Why do you think that's so important, especially in our culture?
Because if you want to be famous, you can take a car and drive it in front of a 7-Eleven and go through the window. That'll make you famous. But
Yeah.
being respected carries a lot more weight because it has to deal with your character. It has to deal with how much integrity you have and your ability to have discipline and do what it is you say you're gonna do. Like I just had an issue. I had somebody ask somebody to I need you to provide me some rates for your service. Well, this person has not given me the rates for their service. So that means you don't have any integrity, your character is poor, and you're not going to do what you say. So why, when you call me 5 days from now and asking me, do I still want it? Why would I want it? You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Why would I? Because it took you 5 days to tell me what it is you do well and how much you charge for it. So why do I need to wait for you to tell me, oh, well, this is what it costs. But I guarantee you, they're going to want me to pay faster than they came back with the quote. That's why men prefer respect before anything. Because if you respect me, you're gonna treat me right. You're gonna have character. You're gonna have some integrity, and you're gonna always know that you got to do what you say you're gonna do if you respect me. If you don't respect me, you're gonna treat me any kind of way. So I'd rather have respect than fame any day of the week.
I'm glad you brought that up. 'Cause that's really huge because at that point you're paying attention. Well, you're paying attention to the real room. You're reading the room, but you're paying attention to people's behavior patterns and not just what they are saying. Because anybody could tell you anything.
I mean, players are always talking. The snake always talks. So
Yeah, yeah. So would that be your greatest piece of advice? Is to tell people to watch people instead of just listening to people? Just watch their character, watch their actions.
yeah, actions. People always say that actions speak louder than words, but they do. I mean, who you are is not what you say you are. It's what you do.
Absolutely. I
That's
think that
it.
I think that's a missing puzzle piece. And that's what I want the
Hmm.
younger generation and the newcomers to really take that in. Is not listen that not be naive and gullible when you're going into these
Yeah,
rooms and letting people just talk you into anything. And just sit back and observe and watch people. And not to
yeah,
be emotionally you gotta be you have to be emotionally have stability with your emotions. You can't react to everything
yeah,
right then and there. That's what I tell people nowadays. Quit reacting to everything that happens to you and just sit, take a deep breath and just observe the situation because it could change, but there might be a reason why that particular thing happened in the first place, and
yeah.
it might be to protect you.
Oh yeah. Sometimes failure is the win. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
An old man told me one time, when you're dancing in a two-step, the back step is a part of the dance. So Yeah, the back step is the part of the dance too.
Yeah, yeah. All right. One fun question, and then then we'll wrap this up. So I always ask
All right.
my guests too. I always because I'm a foodie, and you can't have a favorite food. I found this
Oh
out.
yeah.
You can't have a favorite food if you're a foodie, right? What is your favorite
Yeah,
food?
that's true.
Yeah. What is your favorite food? And if I was to come to Atlanta, or you have your friends come to Atlanta, what restaurant would you take them to?
Well, my favorite food is whatever my wife cooks. That's number one.
I like that.
Um, but if I'm going out to eat something, I'm a
Okay.
Philly cheesesteak guy. There's a
Okay.
whole bunch of places in Atlanta you go to Philly cheesesteaks. You can go to New York Deli, you can go uh, Big Dave's, or you can go to Uncle Phil's.
Hmm.
I eat cheesesteak any day of the week.
Wow.
And besides, my daughter is a low key chef, so if the food's not good, she's gonna tell you it's not good. So, but
Oh, wow.
my favorite my favorite food is Philly cheesesteak, hands down.
And that's funny that you say that because that's my mom's favorite. Every place that she's ever visited, she has to try their Philly cheesesteak. She'll tell you if
She's
it's
a G.
trash. That is her favorite sandwich.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mine too.
that's awesome. Well, this has been fun. Thank you for your very in-depth question or like you answering you answered everything in depth, is what I'm trying to say. I really
Uh,
appreciate that. And like I said, thank you for your time.
it was fun, man.
It
You got
was.
me. I don't talk too much,
Oh,
but
really? Okay, okay.
yeah, I don't normally talk publicly too much. Um,
Wow.
yeah, I'm really low key with that point, but
Okay.
you know, my wife and I are gonna have a podcast called Mousequake is Listening.
Okay.
Um, we're working on that. We're just getting the NDAs and stuff taken care of. Where, I have a lot of my famous friends and cohorts come on. We interview them, and then we take three songs from random people who are watching and let them
Hmm.
listen to the song and give them advice and pointers on the songs.
Oh, that's neat. Oh,
And
that's
it's gonna
fantastic.
be free. It's not you pay to get in. It's gonna be three. We're only gonna take three a episode, and I'll be putting up an email about that where they can submit pretty soon. I just need to get a couple of these legal things situated because people get kind of haywire when it comes to their music and stuff.
Right.
So, but
Right.
yeah, that's gonna be pretty interesting. I'll have you on too. I return.
Oh.
I
Oh,
return.
thank you. Yeah, I would definitely do that. Thank you. That's I mean, I'm humble. That's amazing. I'll definitely do it. Any other things that you want to put out there? Like any music that you're anything that you want to put out there and talk about?
Uh, Let me see what I can talk about without getting in trouble.
That's
Um,
okay if you can't. That's okay. We'll leave everything as yeah.
yeah, I am doing a an immersive R&B album called Love's Paradox, the immersive project, where I take some songs that I worked on with R&B artists and I do them in Dolby Atmos to where it feels like you're in the room with them singing, performing. Um, I'm halfway finished with that. It's pretty labor intensive. I just worked on an immersive yoga immersive album for Amada Davina with Raphael Capone from Soul Disciple Studios. That'll be out August 7th, I think. So if you do yoga, you can do that, and it's immersive. So it's in Dolby Atmos. So it's almost like you being in a sound chamber, and everything is around you, the nature and the cityscapes and all that. Great, especially if you have Apple AirPods, you can turn Dolby Atmos on and listen to it and
Right.
walk down the street.
Right.
Yeah. And what else am I doing? No, that's about it that I can
Okay.
talk about. I mean,
Right.
I can talk.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, that's pretty neat. I will actually definitely check that out because I like listen to that kind of stuff, especially at nighttime. It
Oh
provides a lot
yeah,
of peace.
yeah.
Um,
Put you down.
yeah, for sure. Well, like I said, thank you for coming on J Productions, and I'll definitely I'm available for whatever you have going on. That's pretty neat that you're putting out your podcast, and I'll definitely support it.
All right.
Uh-huh. And you have a good day. Peace
You too.
out.